And I'm going to share the screen. Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, can you, so what is on the screen at the moment? Can you read it? Someone can read it. Bashir, can you read it for me, the title?
Pathway to university education, training, and empowerment.
Great. So again, for those of you who just joined us, good morning, everyone. And thanks for joining me today. This is our second session. Some of you came to the first session last week. Some of you, this is your first time. And don't be worried, because I'm going to start with a quick review of what I said last week for you to catch up. But basically, this is our course, Pathways to University, Education, Training and Employment. And during this course, I'm going to introduce you to different options that you have now or in the future to continue your education or to apply for jobs and find the employment that you would like to have. So last week, we started from here, okay? We started to learn more about different options that you have in the UK as a person who just came to the country and you want to kind of continue your education or return to your job, to your career, or start a new career here in the UK. We talked about three main pathways, as you can see, three main options that you have. The first one in the left of the screen, I think it's academic route, having high school diploma, going to university, doing undergraduate courses like bachelor courses, doing postgraduate courses like master courses, and then apply for jobs. Some of you may not be interested in going to university. So for those individuals, we have other options like vocational route, when you can apply for employability or work-related degrees and trainings. And we have a third option, again, applied or work route, which is mainly about technical skills. If you are interested in doing technical jobs like construction, plumbing, carpenter, these kind of technical jobs, some of you may be interested in following the applied or work route. So these are three main options that you have. And in the next 9 weeks, I'm going to talk about these three options. So today, we are going to talk mainly about the academic route, because I understand most of you are interested to continue your education to some degrees and then applying for jobs. During the first week, I explained how to understand where you are currently in the UK education system. As you can see, in the UK, we have 8 different levels of qualification or educational degrees, starting from level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Level 1 and 2, these are mainly secondary education. Like in other countries, it could be high school. And then when you finish your high school here in the UK and many other countries that we come from, we are going to have a GCSE or high school diploma, okay? Here in the UK, when the students have their GCSE or high school diploma, usually around age of 16, if they want to go to university, they continue to A levels. Okay, A levels are level 3. They do A levels for 1 or 2 years, and then usually 2 years, and then age of 18, they start university. Okay, they start going to university for undergraduate, bachelor. When they finish bachelor, they have a level 6. So if you have a bachelor degree from your country, it could be Syria, Sudan, Iran, Afghanistan, that's a level 6 here, like in your country. And then you can use that to go to postgraduate education. You can apply for master's degree. If you have a master's degree from your country, it's a 7, and you can use it to apply for level 8, which is a doctorate or a PhD degree, okay? So first of all, it is important to understand where you are, what is your current level. Then you can apply or you can plan for the next level. I'm going to ask, is there anyone here who could go through the table and figure out your current level? Anyone would like to share with us? Do you know your level? Can you explain where you are in this ladder of level 1 to level 8? Just switch on your microphone and let me know. For example, any of you, where you are. Are you level 2, level 3, level 4?
I did my degree check, so it's level 6.
Okay, which means you have a bachelor degree from
Syria.
somewhere, from Syria. Of course, absolutely. So as you can see, as Hala said, having a bachelor degree from any other country or UK, you have a level 6. And then the options that you have is applying for a level 7 degree. Could be a master's degree, or you can go for other kind of trainings, or you can apply for jobs. Okay, so that's for that.
I have a partial degree from my country, but I learn by Arabic, not English. So
language is a different thing. Okay, in the next slide, Elnur, I'm going to talk about language. But when you have a degree, a university degree from any country, that's same. In most cases, same here in the UK. So what degree do you have, Elnur?
I have accounting, so bachelor's.
So which means you went to university for 3 or 4 years in your country?
4 years.
4 years. Which country?
Sudan.
Great. So if you have a bachelor and if you went to university for 3 or 4 years, okay, that's a bachelor in Sudan and here in the UK as well. Okay. So again, Elnur, you're level 6, and then you can use your level 6 degree to apply for a level 7 course, which is often a master's course. Some of you may have high school diploma from your country after 10, 11, 12 years, okay? Most of the time, having a high school diploma, you are here. In some countries where secondary education is until the primary and secondary education is 12 years, sometimes your high school diploma is level 3 as well. So it depends on how many years did you go to primary school and secondary school, okay? But most of the time you are here. And if you want to go to university, there is a gap that you need to fill. Today's session is about how to fill this gap between level 2 and level 4, which is the beginning of university. Okay. However, okay, as I said, high school diploma is high school diploma in terms of level here in the UK or anywhere else. But as someone who has studied out of the UK in English or in other languages, you need to prove your level of language, okay? So for instance, for Hala, she has level 6, she can apply for level 7, which is master's, but she needs to add a language qualification to her application. This is same for Elnur. He has a bachelor degree from an Arabic-speaking country, okay? And he can apply for level 7 for masters, but he needs to add a language qualification to that. So he needs to prove his level of English and his proficiency in English language. And for that, there are different tests, there are different systems that you can undertake to prove and to demonstrate your level of language. For undergrads, okay, for undergrads, all of the universities in the UK, they accept IELTS. However, they accept other qualifications as well. So many of them, they accept ESOL, functional skills, and other qualifications that you see here, okay? So if most of the time you need 6 or 6.5 to enter a bachelor course, an undergraduate course, and then most of the degrees here, so it could be IELTS, it could be level 2, or it could be other qualifications. So most of the qualifications above this red arrow, many universities, they accept them, okay? However, when it comes to postgraduate, if you're applying for masters, it's mainly IELTS, okay? You don't have many other options. Again, it depends to university. You need to check with the university, but for IELTS, universities are more sort of strict, and most of them, they ask for IELTS, usually 6.5. So if you're planning to, like for Hala and Elnur, if you're planning to apply for postgraduate, IELTS is the best and easiest option. And it depends to university. They may need 6, they may need 6.5. Most of the time, it's 6.5. If you are planning to apply for undergrad, IELTS is an option. It's not the easiest one. Most of the time, ESOL, functional skills, could be an easier option for you. And then having a level 2, you can apply for university courses. Okay. So anyone, you can share with others your level of language based on this. What is your level of language, do you think?
Hello, Amir.
Hi, Magbula. What is your level of language, do you think? Or do you have any qualification which shows your level of language?
You mean for this? Okay, I have like ESOL.
Okay, what level?
ESOL level 2.
Okay, so are you doing ESOL, or do you have the paper which shows you the certificate?
Yeah, I already done. Yeah, I already have a qualification.
Okay, so
level 2.
very good. So for Makbula, she has an ESOL. So this is the column for ESOL, and because she has level 2, she passes the qualification for starting an undergraduate course in the UK. Okay, so that's how you can understand where you are. These two here, where you are in terms of your education, and here where you are in terms of your English language. Okay, and then when you understand where you are, then it would be much easier to plan for your next step and next steps, and then it's easier for us to help you. So one thing that I would like you to do, make sure that you have a good understanding of where you are in terms of level of education and in terms of level of language. If you go back to the first week in the slides, there are some links that you can find out country-specific information, okay? There is a booklet, and there are 2 links from University of Bradford, University of Bristol, and most of the universities here in the UK, they have a page which shows country-specific information. So you can understand, if you have a degree from Afghanistan, what is the value of that degree here in the UK. So if you don't know it already, I can see most of you, like Makbula, Elnur, and Hala, they have good understanding of their level of education and the level of language. If you don't, go and find it, and then if you have any question, just come back and ask question. Okay, before I start today's session, any question about levels of education and employment and language?
Amir, how about functional skills, and if you compare with ESOL?
Functional skills, it's very similar to ESOL, okay? So as you can see here, it says ESOL and skills for life. Skills for life is the previous name for functional skills. Okay.
All right.
So most of the time, yeah. So if you look at your functional skills degree, it may say level, it may say B1, B2, C1, C2. You can see it from here, the left column on the CFR level. So just look at the qualification or look at the course and see what is the level. You can find that level here. It could be B2, C1 or whatever. It could be level 1, level 2, or it could be advanced first proficiency or whatever. Okay, so functional skills, most of the time it's similar to ESOL, but the main thing is finding the degree, finding the level of qualification, and then just compare it with this table. You will find the equivalent on this table, and then when you found it, then you can check with this arrow. Okay, universities are here, 6, 6.5. If your qualification is above the arrow, you can apply for university most of the time. If it's below the arrow, you need to have a higher language qualification. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's move on to our today's session. But before that, I would like to share with you something that I usually share with my students about which I call it 3 P's of success. Okay, so because I have emails, I have like text messages from people just asking me about, oh, I wanted to do this, I couldn't, and it's like it's a year that I'm learning language, but I couldn't make any progress. So first of all, the first P for success is patience. Okay, so things, as you can see in this slide, things take time. It's not easy to learn a new language, especially to the extent to go to university. So most of the time, it depends on the level of language that you had from before. Some of you had some English before coming to the UK. Some of you started learning from once you came to the UK. So depending on your level, learning language, especially for education, it's going to take time. Usually it's going to take 2, 3, 4 years to get to the level to go to and start a university course. So don't be worried if you are not making like huge progress in 6 months or a year. Okay, you need to be patient, because in my case, most of the people that I worked with, they went to university, but for some it was 1 year, for some it took 2, 3 or more, because of the level of language. And language learning is not something that you can compress. You can learn more, but it's not something that you can compress in 6 months or 1 year. Okay, it takes time for you to understand and to learn and to kind of grasp a new language. So first of all, be patient. However, once you're patient, you need to have a plan. Okay, just saying that, oh, I want to go to university or I want to find a job is not, and being patient is not enough. You need to have a plan, and part of the course is to help you to make that plan for yourself, to help you to understand, okay, I'm level 1 language, I need to apply for, or I need to go to a level 2 course, and then I need to pass the level 2 exam, and then I need to apply for a foundation degree, and so on and so forth. Okay, so once you're patient and you're learning, you need to have a plan, because sometimes, like if you are planning to go to university, you need different qualifications, a different plan than when you're planning to apply for jobs. Okay, so, and then if you are applying for an undergrad, that's different with when you're applying for a postgrad, that's different with when you're applying for a job training or for a vocational course. Okay, so be patient, but have
I just want to add,
I mean,
for my experience, it's a patient is so great, because it's my experience. I just start from inter 3.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I just go to level 1 and then level 2 ISO. And
Absolutely.
then I
Yeah.
just start now my GCSE English and Maths in this year. And then yeah, I just for long year. It's like
Yeah,
not
brilliant.
2
Yeah,
years.
that very,
Yeah.
very good example. And that's my experience of most of the refugee or students from refugee background that I worked with. Don't compare yourself with
Mm-hmm.
others, because the level that you started could be different with someone else. Okay. So
Exactly.
for instance, when I came to this country, my level was around probably level 1. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me like a year or two
Mm-hmm.
to have my IELTS to go to university. For some of my friends at the same time, their level was entry. Okay. For them, it took 3-4 years to get to like level 2 or having IELTS to go to university. So don't
Exactly.
compare yourself with others in terms of
Mm-hmm.
language, because the entry point, the start line could be different. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
But have your plan. Okay, I'm entry 3, I need to do level 1, level 2. At the same time, I need to do like GCSE math, GCSE science, and then over time having all these qualifications to go to university. Something that I would like to tell you is, although 4 years or 5 years could be long, okay, you may say, oh, it's too long planning and working for 5 years. But something that you need to have in mind, most of you are in your 20s or early 30s, as far as I could see on your registration sheet. So if you are 25, 26, 31, 32, or even if you are 40, and if you think about the retirement, okay? So do you know the age of retirement in the UK, anyone?
Actually, my country is 65 or 60, I
Yes.
think.
Yes, in the UK here currently is 65, but in the next years, I think 2027, it's going to increase to 67. Okay, so probably by the time that I getting to the retirement age, or you are getting to the retirement age, it will be around 70. So thinking of 67, 68, or 70 as the age for retirement, and if you are 30, if you are 32, you still have around 40 years of career age, okay, and working age. So investing 2 years, 3 years, 4 years for the next 30 years, next 40 years is not that long, okay? Because it can change your whole life by having better jobs, having better income, and having a better life. So when you are thinking of, oh, I need to spend 2 years, 3 years learning and learning and learning, that's not too long. If you don't look back, if you look forward, saying that I'm going to stay in this country, I'm going to work until 70. If I'm 35 years old, I have more 35 years to work. So it's better to spend 5 years on my education, on my training, on my language, and then having far better jobs, far better payments, and far better life. Okay, have that retirement and future in mind instead of thinking, oh, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years is too long.
Yeah, so yeah, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again,
I think it's
go on.
something like is I like apprenticeship if you want to work and like get trained and learn more if you can get like apprenticeship job in terms of like you learning as well as
Absolutely. Yeah.
you
So
like carry on your education.
in
Yeah.
the next sessions, when we get to vocational training, we are going to talk about other options like apprenticeship or BTECs, where you can work and study at the same time, but just have it in mind. So again, sharing my personal experience, for me, it took like 2 years for language, and then I spent probably 5 years in university, just learning and learning and learning and doing like low paid sort of jobs until moving on to the job that I want. So always think about future and then the way that you have forward. And then the third one, the third P after patience. Having plan is about perseverance, okay? So you need to be persistent. You need to do things over time, especially when it comes to learning language, okay? It needs consistency over time. So if you study language 2 days a week and 2 hours a day, it's not that good. It's better if you study language every day, even for half an hour, okay? So doing things on a regular basis and being consistent and being persistent and doing things, learning more information over time is more helpful than doing things like every now and then. So once you're planning for yourself, try to have something in terms of learning, in terms of having information every single day. Even it could be like listening to a language course, okay? Or even it could be reading a piece of newspaper. So make sure that you do things over time, not just learning for 1 week and then not doing anything for 2 weeks and then 1 week. It doesn't help that much. So have these 3 in mind before I move to the next one. Be patient, have plans, and be persistent. Just continue doing things over time. By now, if you came to the first session last week, so you should have or probably you have done these actions. So there was a video which I shared about how to activate your UCAS account. If you didn't have time, not a problem. You can watch the video, you can go through the link which I added here, and then you can start your UCAS application if you're planning to apply for undergrads this year or next year, okay? Even if you if you are not certain about planning, it's good to do it because it's free of charge till the very final session. It doesn't cost you anything. So just do it for the sake of learning. You should have more information about your financial status. If you're here as a refugee, if you have your right to remain, you know that you can apply for student finance, so there is no financial problem for you to go to university. If you are still waiting for your asylum claim to be processed, in that case, you have some restrictions and you need to apply for sanctuary scholarship. There was a link about sanctuary scholarships last week. I'm going to talk about them later today and in the next session. I explained about how to find courses and universities that you are interested in. Today, we are going to have some activities about how to find the course that you would like to study and how to find out more about their entry requirements. It's about entry requirements and then trying to figure out if you can meet the entry requirements or not. Then next, your personal statement, which is important. If you are applying for undergrad or postgrad, you need to have a personal statement as part of your application. And that's usually the only piece of work that you need to create from yourself. Last week, I shared with you some information. We are going to talk about it further, but here I added 3 links about personal statement, how to make it better, especially if you are from refugee or asylum seeking background. And I added some examples because most of the time the problem is students don't have ideas about a good personal statement. So here, if you click on examples, you can read some good personal statements. It's very difficult to write a good personal statement without reading good personal statements, okay? If you don't know how a good personal statement looks like, you cannot write a good personal statement. So make sure that you take some time to read some good personal statements here in this link. In terms of scholarships, I shared with you the link last week. The link is again here. You can find especially for those of you still waiting for your asylum claim, you can find more about universities and the kind of scholarships that they have for asylum seeker or refugee students. And then one thing which is important as part of your planning is to have a plan B, okay? Always make sure that you have a plan B, or better if you have a plan C as well, because sometimes your plan A may not work. So it's better always to be prepared. It saves you time. And then during this course, we are going to talk about what other plans, what plan Bs you can have. So if your plan A is to go to university, and if you cannot meet the requirements, what other plans you can have for your plan B and plan C. This is something that we are going to work on together later during the course. Okay, but today, I think I'm going to take some time before we take break, just to talk about how to apply for university if you have level 2 or level 3 qualifications, or if you don't have level 2 qualifications. Okay, so I think because I explained about too many different things, I'm going to give you 10 minutes break, okay? Because I don't want to have a break between the level 2 and level 3, because I think I'm going to link them together. Let's take 10 minutes break. It's 20 to 11. Come back 10 to 11, okay? So 20 to 11, I start again 10 to 11, which is 10:50. And don't disconnect, stay as you are. Just go take a coffee, tea, stretch your legs and come back. Hala, any question? So I'm going to start recording. So for academic, if you are planning to go to university starting in level 4, starting from level 4 ending with a bachelor degree, level 6, you need to have level 2 and level 3, okay? Some of you have already high school diplomas from your country, some not. And if you don't have GCSE or high school diploma from your country, you have 3 main options, okay? So this slide is for people who don't have GCSE or high school, who didn't finish high school in their countries. The first option that you have is doing functional skills, okay? So functional skills are equivalent to GCSE. If you go to your local college, most of the colleges, they have functional skills in English, in math, and in ICT. So if you go for those courses, those are level 2. And using them, then you can apply for GC. The functional skills are here, okay? Level 2 in this graph. So if you have them, then you can progress to level 3. So that's, I think for many of you, that could be the best option, because you can have them in your local college. If you're a refugee, if you have right to remain, these are free of charge, so you can have them free of charge. It depends on your level, okay? If you are level 1, having level 2, it takes you less than a year. Sometimes it could be just 1 semester, a few months. You can have your functional skills. And as I mentioned, these are available in most local colleges, so you don't need to travel to other city or somewhere else to have your GCSE.
Amir,
Fun.
for example, I undertaking GCSE in this year. Can I still make like an application for undertaking qualification for later to show my qualification?
But what do you mean by your what kind of qualification?
I just I'm taking GCSE this year in
Okay.
next maybe May or June.
Okay.
That is still, I can make an application.
For university.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can, because so most of the students here in the UK, when they apply for university, they don't have their results. Okay, the results, they come later during summer. So
Yeah.
you can apply now, and in the application, there is a place that you can say, I'm doing this, but then they will give you time until probably midsummer to provide your qualifications once the results are released. Okay. So if you are doing GCSE now, and if you are planning to apply for university, to go to university in September 2023, apply, and then you will have time until midsummer to provide your results. Is that clear?
Yeah, but I have some qualification to provide, like functional skills and ESOL.
Yeah, that's fine.
Level, yeah, level
That's
2.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You can, if you have them, you can add them to the application. But if you don't have your GCSEs, or if you don't have language qualification now, not an issue. Apply, and then they will give you time to provide your results. Okay, so
Thank you. Yeah.
no worries. So I added the link here about where to find functional skill courses. Okay, so if you click on this link, it takes you to national career website, and then there you can find most of the functional skill courses, and then you can filter them based on your postcode. So you can add your city, or if you can add your postcode as well, and then it gives you the functional skills courses around the area that you live. The second option is to do BTEC. Okay, many universities, if you go to their websites, they will say, as the entry requirement, they will say you need to have GCSEs A levels, or you can have BTECs as well. So BTECs are technical qualifications that you can do. Many universities, they accept BTECs for entry. These are vocational courses. So in week 4, I think, or week 5, I'm going to talk more about how to apply for BTECs. If you are still waiting for your asylum claim, unfortunately, BTEC is not something that you can have free of charge. Okay. But if you have refugee status, you can apply for BTECs, and the fees will be covered by finance. Then you can use BTECs. These are level 2. You can use them for level 3, or you can use them to apply for jobs. The good thing about BTEC is it's a technical course. If you don't want to go to university, you can use it to apply for technical jobs. So the third option is like Makbula. You can apply, you can do your GCSEs. Okay, so again, many local colleges, they do GCSE courses. So based on what you want to study in university, you can go to college, you can do GCSE math, GCSE science, GCSE language, GCSE history, or other GCSEs, and then you can, usually you need 3 to 5 GCSE, different GCSEs. So you can go to college, you can do those GCSEs. The issue with GCSEs is they are more time taking. So usually it takes you 2 years, okay, to have a GCSE. So sometimes, depending your level, it might be better to do functional skills instead of GCSEs. If you're in at like a higher level 1, you can have level 2 in 1 year and then go to university. Whereas doing GCSE can take you 2 years, okay? And they are, in terms of difficulty, most of the students, they find GCSEs more difficult than ESOL or functional skills. But again, the good thing about
is there two different things? GCSE and ESOL are two different things. Yeah, it's
No,
not. Yeah,
yeah, I mean functional skills. Yeah, GCSE and functional skills. So if you do GCSE math
it's so difficult. Yeah.
and functional skills math,
Mm.
GCSE is much more difficult than functional skills math. Okay, but
Yeah.
both of
Mhm.
them at the end they are level 2. Okay, so it's always good to think about: is it better to do GCSEs or is it better to do functional skills? So
Mm.
for some of you, functional skills is a
But
better option.
is
For some
some of
GCSEs,
okay, yeah, but some of college, like college where I learn now GCSE,
Mhm.
they just offer you only to do level 1 because they not offer you to do functional skills level 2 because that is said like that is same like a GCSE
yes.
level 2.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it depends on the college, and it depends
Mm.
on you to find a college who offers you GCSE. Okay, offers you functional skills. If you go to the website here,
Mm.
you can find colleges who
Mhm.
offer functional skills level 1 or level 2. Here, if you are looking for GCSEs, there is no website that you can find all GCSEs together. But if you go to Google and search this free adult GCSE in, and then add the name of your area, like free adult GCSEs in Manchester or free adult GCSEs in Bristol, then usually the first page is from your local council. And I show you later on my browser, but just Google free adult GCSE in East Lancashire or in London, okay? Then it will show you usually the page for your local council, and then there is a list of GCSE providers in your neighborhood, basically, okay? So have in mind these three options. If you don't have high school diploma from your country, if you don't have level 2, you can do GCSEs, you can do functional skills, you can do BTECs. Which one is better for you? It depends on your case, okay? If you are not sure about which one is better one for you, speak with me or with your personal tutor, okay? So if it's difficult for you to decide which one is the best one for your case, you can speak with me or with your personal tutor, and we can give you more information based on your current situation. The next point, okay, now, if you have GCSE or high school diploma from your country or from anywhere else, so which means you have a level 2, but you don't have level 3, okay? If you look at, let me go back to here. If you have level 2, still for going to university, starting level 4, you need a level 3 degree, okay? You need A level or other equivalents. For some countries, your high school diploma could be equivalent to level 3 or A level. It depends on how many years did you go to university, to high school and primary school. If it's 12 years altogether, sometimes universities, they see that as level 3. But in most cases, there is a gap. So for many of you, there is a gap between level 2 and level 4, which is a level 3 course. You have two main options. First one is what is called University Foundation Year, okay? So you can go to university, but instead of starting a 3 years bachelor course, you can start a 4-year bachelor with foundation. I probably I'll show you later on my browser, but some universities, they offer foundation year courses. So instead of starting from year 1, you start from year 0, okay? You spend 1 year in university learning more language, learning more about the subject that you are going to study, and then from next year, you start year 1. Instead of 3 years in university, you're going to spend 4 years in university.
Yeah, that's why I'm interested now for foundation
Yes.
year for next
So
September.
when you are applying for UCAS, and if you are planning to do like bachelor in biology, so you need, instead of bachelor in biology, you need to search for bachelor in biology with foundation year. Okay. So I'm going to show you later on the UCAS website, but going for courses with, especially for people from refugee background with high school diplomas from countries in Middle East, Asia, or Africa, going for university courses with foundation year, it increases your chance of having an offer, okay? Because universities can see during that 1 year, you can improve your language, you can improve your study skills, and you can learn more about the subject of your study. So if you're going to study biology during the foundation year, you are going to have some lessons, some modules about science. Okay, so
Okay, Amir,
go.
sorry, just how do you tell them you are from refugee background in an application or just when you write in a personal statement?
Well, when you are writing personal statement, okay, there is a place that it's always good to mention that, because it's going to cover some gap years if you have been out of education or employment. But in the application process, there is something about refugee status. Okay, there is
in
something,
application.
yes, when you're filling the application form, there is a place about immigration status, and under that immigration status, there is a kind of a box for refugees. Okay,
Okay.
so but at the end of the day, it's not about your immigration status. It's about that when you say, I have a bachelor degree from Sudan, or or I have a high school diploma from Sudan or Syria or wherever, they see you as someone who needs foundation year. Okay, so it's not just about many students coming from, for instance, China to study here. They start with foundation year, because again, there is a gap between high school in China and university here in the UK. So they need to do that level 3. So for many of you, if you have high school diploma from anywhere else, or even if you have like functional skills, GCSEs from the UK, it's a good option to go for foundation year, for courses with foundation year. And then you can easily find them on UCAS. I'm going to show you later. The second option is access to higher education course. Okay, so again, access is a 1-year course. It's level 3, and it's usually for people who have been out of education for a few years and they want to go back to university or to higher education, and they don't have the qualifications like GCSEs and A levels. The main difference is university foundation year is a course in university. Access is a college course. University foundation year is part of your university degree. So you study 4 years to get your bachelor degree, but access is not part of your university course. After access, you need to apply for university and go to university, okay? There are many access to university courses. You can do access and then the access course depends on what you want to study in university. If you are planning to study nursing, midwifery, those kind of studies, you can do access to nursing. If you are planning to study any kind of social science like geography, history, management, business, you can do access to social science or access to business. Or if you want to become a teacher, or if you want to study like math, physics, you can study access to education. We have access to art, and we have so many, like 1,200 or 1,200 different access courses in college. So depending on what you want to study, you can go for an access course. And usually they don't want you to have GCSEs or A levels for access. There is an assessment. So most colleges, they do an assessment. So they assess your reading skills, they assess your numeracy skills, and they assess your general study skills. And then if you have those kind of skills to start an access course, they give you they give you the course. Again, I added a link to a web page which helps you to find access courses based on your area and based on the subject. I'm going to show you later on my screen. So these are two main options: access course and foundation year. If you have a good level, foundation year is better. But if you have been out of education for a few years, and if you are not confident about your skills, sometimes it's easier to go for an access course and then apply for university. Okay. If you are refugee, you can do both and use a student finance for that. If you are still waiting for an asylum claim, you need to pay for your access. So access is not a good option for you. Foundation year is the better option because a scholarship, sanctuary scholarship, it covers foundation year as well. Any question about level 3 courses, foundation and access? Okay, before I move to the browser and showing you these web pages, in terms of language, if you are looking for undergrad, if you are applying for bachelor degrees, and as I said, you have IELTS, but you have other options including ESOL and functional skills. If you are applying for postgrad, for masters, most of the time IELTS is your only option. In terms of where to have support or where to find those courses, I added two main pages for ESOL. Okay, one is WEA web page. You can go there and you can search for ESOL courses based on your postcode, and then there is an ESOL course web page. You can find ESOL courses in major cities of the UK. So there is a link to Manchester, Birmingham, Bristol, London, Edinburgh, Glasgow. Okay, so not everywhere, but major cities of the UK, you can find the link. I'll show you the links later. For IELTS, to be honest, most IELTS is mainly about self-learning, because it means your level of English is good enough to go to university. So you can self-practice mainly using online material. There are thousands of online web pages that you can use to practice your IELTS. There are loads of YouTube videos. And the other problem is IELTS. Finding free IELTS support is quite difficult. There are many refugee support organizations. It depends on your area. Like Olive, we have IELTS preparation course. So you need to look around the areas that you live. So I'm going to send you some information about like in Manchester, there are 2 or 3 organizations helping you out with IELTS preparation. But the main one, many of you may have heard of RefuAid. I added a link to RefuAid. They are busy, so you need to be patient, okay? Because people from everywhere in the country, they apply to RefuAid, but they have language courses, they have IELTS courses, and when you get your offer, if you have a university offer, a conditional offer, they may help you with the cost of exams. Okay, so they can pay for your, but as I said, they have a long waiting list, so you need to be patient. But if you have offer, they can give you priority. Okay, so they can help you to meet the deadline. So go to the page and find out more about how to join their courses. Do it as soon as you can, because they'll add you to the waiting list. Okay, so there is no harm with adding your name to the waiting list of RefuAid if you are prepared to do IELTS. Okay, by now, again, going back to our first slide, by now you should be able to do your UCAS hop. Okay, if you are applying for undergrad, adding your names, personal detail, 5 choices, previous education, previous employment, statement, and reference. Let me see. Okay, we still have some time. And any question until now before I move on to the next slide? Go on, Jat.
Yes, I have a question about UCAS. I opened it and made an account, and I didn't choose 5 courses. I chose actually 9.
Okay.
And I wanted to, there's a place that says start here or something like that. So I clicked on it, but I couldn't do anything after that. So it opened a page with postgraduate, but whenever I click on it, nothing happens. I don't know.
So you're applying for postgraduate.
Yeah.
So for postgraduate, I suggest you don't apply for that's why you could choose 9. So for postgraduate, I suggest you apply directly to the university itself. Okay, because when you go on UCAS, your options are limited. Not all postgraduate courses are on UCAS. However, after this session, I'm not sure what is exactly the problem with your application, but after the session, if you share your screen and show me what is the problem, I may be able to help you. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but basically we are having our postgraduate session in 2 weeks time, not next week, the following week, and then I can help you more with applications. And then basically it's better to directly apply to university instead of going through UCAS. It could be much easier. Any other question?
Yeah, me.
Go on, Magula.
I just a little bit confused about 5 choices. 5 choices, that means 5 university or 5 courses? I just
Could be either one. So you can choose 5 courses in one university, or 5 courses in different universities. But most of the time, because you know what you want to study,
yeah, that's why I'm asking. Yeah.
you end up with 1 course in 5 universities.
Yes, exactly. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there is no limitation in terms of which university, how many courses. But most of the time, because you are decided that I'm going to study bachelor in biology, so you are going for bachelor in biology in 5 different universities.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so most of the time, that's the case, that's the scenario.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let me just quickly before going through the web pages, so the main point, the main part of your UCAS application is your personal statement. From next year, okay, UCAS, they announced from next year, not this year, from 2024, they are going to have some changes in the structure of the statement. Okay, so instead of having statement, there are 3 or 4 boxes, questions that you need to answer. So, but for this year, again, still, you need to write a personal statement. Some general points about personal statement, okay? If you remember, I added a link to some examples of good personal statement. Just make sure that you're reading them. One thing which is important, do not copy and paste. Okay, because they can see if you copy anything from internet and use it as your personal statement, universities, they have like some computer programs, they can see that this is copied, so which is not good for your application. So don't copy and paste. You need personal statement for university. You need personal statement if you are applying for sanctuary scholarships. But most of the time, if you are applying for a job, they want you to write on a statement. So it's very good kind of a skill to learn how to write a personal statement. Okay, so make sure that you, at the end of the course, at the end of the Olive, it's very good if you can have at least 1 good example of a personal statement. These are the main questions that you need to answer and to address in your personal statement. Why you are applying, okay? So why you are applying to biology or why you are applying to history. So you need to talk about your interest in the course and why you are a suitable person to study in that course. Okay, so this is the second thing that you need. So is it because you have previous experience, you have previous education in that course, you have a personal interest, you have a plan for future? And if yes, you need to explain your previous experience, previous education. If you've been member of any organization relevant, you need to add them. You need to talk about your personal circumstances, and this is a good place to talk about your experience of moving country, because it shows, first of all, it covers any gap. If you had 2, 3, 4, 5 years of gap in your education and employment, universities can see the problem in your personal life, okay? And then it shows your determination. It shows how determined and how active you are in going back to education. And you need to talk about why you are interested in those universities if you are applying for specific universities. And then finally, one thing that is important is before writing your personal statement, you need to go to that university webpage, okay? And to have some information about what kind of students they are looking for, okay? And then they use those terminology, use those words, use those phrases to write your personal statement. Like if they are looking for people who are kind of good in time management, make sure that you mention time management in your statement. So these are the main points. I added here some good links from UCAS and elsewhere which can help you to prepare your personal statement. So UCAS, they have a very good personal statement tool. It breaks down the statement into 4 different boxes, and you can answer each question, and then when you put all those boxes together, you have a personal statement. So it gives you some kind of direction, makes it easier for you to start writing. There are some advice from UCAS for people from refugee and asylum seeker background. So it gives you some information about what to add to your personal statement. There is a mind map. Again, very good. This mind map is a very good tool because most of the time students telling me that, well, we don't know where to start or what to add. The mind map, it helps you to write down all the information that you have to add to your statement. And there is a personal statement worksheet. Okay, again, it gives you some kind of a structure. What I suggest, if you need a personal statement, which I think everyone needs, if you are applying for undergrad, postgrad, or jobs, you need a statement. And because I said you need to have plans, I think one good plan is having a good personal statement by the end of Olive. Okay, so write it down as a plan. Okay, my plan is to have a good personal statement by the end of Olive. What you need to do, you need to start writing. Okay, it doesn't need to be perfect. Write whatever you want, and then start working on that to make it better. And you can share it with your personal tutor, you can share it with your personal mentor, or you can share it with us, and then we can give you some feedback on how to improve your personal statement. Okay, so these are the main questions that you need to, again, going back to personal statement. Why do you want to study? Just have a piece of paper and pen and start answering these questions. Okay, just answer. Don't be worried about grammar, don't be worried about vocabulary, don't even start. Even it's good if you start in your first language, okay? If it's difficult for you to write the first part in English, write it in Arabic, write it in Swahili, write it in Farsi, write it in whatever, okay? Just write it down. Once it's written, once it's on paper, then it's easier to translate it and to improve it. So for the first draft, for the first copy, don't be worried about language. Just write the content down. Some other advice: look at the course description. Okay, you can find some information about what qualities they want from the university webpage. Add your personal story. Make sure that you're adding your personal story of your previous education in your country, and if you couldn't finish your education, and then the moving a country, and then the gaps, and then all the difficulties. Okay, it makes it more personal and more impressive. And don't. So I need to change this one. I think this is from last year. Okay, this is the structure. If you go through the UCAS, this is the structure. So you need to write around 500 words, which is just one page. Okay, it's not a long piece of writing. So you start with introduction, first part, about why you want to study this course. The second part, so the second paragraph is about your academic experience. The third paragraph is about your interest in the subject. The next paragraph is about if you have any work experience. It could be paid, it could be voluntary. The fourth one is about your hobbies and what other activities you do. And then there is a short conclusion about your future plans when you finished studying that course. So again, this gives you some kind of a structure. You need to write 4 paragraphs, 1 introduction, 1 conclusion. It's just 1 page, so it's not a long piece of work. Start writing whatever you can, and then we can make it better. So draft your first personal statement and send it to your not to me first, to your personal tutor, to your personal mentor, and they can help you with your improving your statement. Okay, and as I mentioned, have it as a goal. Okay, I go back to this one. Can you remember 3 P's of success? What was the first one? Anyone remembers the first P of success?
You start where you are.
Okay, so good things take time. Okay, you need to be patient. Yes, absolutely. What was the second one?
Plan.
Time.
Of course, yeah. The second one was to have a plan. And what was the third one?
Determined.
Yes, that absolutely. You need to be determined to do it over time, to do it persistently, and you need to have perseverance. Okay, perseverance means doing things persistently over time, not to leaving at some point and then just forgetting everything. You need to do it every single day. So you need to be patient, you need to have a plan, you need to be persistent, and then there is a key to all of these, which is action. Okay, so if you know how to write a personal statement, and if you have a plan to write a personal statement, but if you don't write it, okay, there is no personal statement. So you need action, which is the key to all of these: patience, planning, and perseverance. Okay, so this is your first goal for Olive. Write a good personal statement. Start from your language, whatever language, write it down, then translate it into English, then start working on that, share it with your mentors and tutors, and then a good personal statement is something that you are going to need in the next 10 years, probably every month. I'm still using personal statement which I started a few years ago, because when you apply for jobs, you need personal statement. Applying for university, you need personal statement. Applying for scholarships, you need personal statement. So having personal statement makes everything much easier when it comes to education and employment. And then the final thing, again, some homeworks. I'm just repeating these homeworks for next week. Make sure that you start your UCAS application, find about your finance status, find the courses that you want and universities that you want, and look at the entry requirements and start writing your personal statement. And if you are in need of a scholarship, start thinking of finding the scholarships that you can apply for. And next week we will be talking more about scholarships, and then start thinking of plan B. Okay, everyone here wants to go to university, but well, hopefully all of you find a way to university, but always be prepared for if there is no chance of going to university this year or next year or following year, what else you can do to best use your time. Okay, so I'm going to start